Hello everybody, so this is going to be the second video in our programming series. So in the last video we made like questions that I'm going to answer in Python. So in this video we'll try to learn how to make rock scissors shoes, is that how we call it? Rock scissors paper. No, I don't really know. But yeah, you understand what it is. So yeah, but to be able to do that we need to learn a few things first. So the first one is we need to learn how to use lists. So a list is basically like a variable that stores a list of different things. Like if we make this variable list is equal to, and then we need to use these. I don't know what these are called actually, but yeah, you need to use these. And in these you are putting what you want to be stored in the list. So for example, we can store numbers, we can store 3 integers like that, or we can store strings like red, green, and blue. And yeah, we can basically do whatever we want with this and put in whatever we want, and we can do how many we want. We can add on this, we can put in yellow, we can put in pink. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. And if you want to access one of these, you can just do lists, or we can actually print it so we can see what we're accessing. Print list, and obviously you can name it whatever you want. I just named it list, and then you're putting in which number here you want to which number in the which number in the list it has. So for example, red is the first number, or the first string in this case, green is the second string, blue is the third string, yellow is the fifth string, and pink is the sixth one. But we actually do this from 0. So red in this case is number 0, and green is number 1, and blue is number 2, and so on and so forth. So if we, for example, want to print red in the if we want to print red, we just type in 0 in here. So make sure to have those odd parentheses, I don't know what they call it still, just after the list, and it will print red from it. So if we now do this, it prints red. And if we put in a 2 in here, or a 2, which one would it print then? You can guess. Obviously it prints blue, because 0, 1, 2, yeah, it prints blue. So yeah, that's how a list works. You can also take out a random number from the list. So you do that by, first we need to import random, and then I think it's random.choice, and then list. And we can actually print this out. I think this is going to work. I'm not actually entirely sure, but yeah, now it printed blue, and if we run this again, it prints yellow. If we run this again, it prints blue again, green this time. So yeah, it's completely random. And now we're going to explain how this works. So we import random, which is basically an add-on, or what you call it, to the program, which actually gives us access to the random elements, and yeah, we can take out random numbers with the help of this add-on. And to take out a random thing from this list, we just need to take the random add-on dot choice and yeah, it will, and yeah, you put in this in parentheses, and it will take out a random thing from this list. So yeah, so is there anything more? Yeah, there is. There's loops also. So loops are very important when we're working in programming, and a loop basically loops something over and over again. So there are two types of loops. There are a while loop, which runs until a like goal is until it gets to its goal. It has a certain goal. While the for loop runs for a certain amount of times. So I'm going to show this in action now. So while loop, or we can actually create a variable here, which is going to be, we're going to call this one run. So it basically, we are basically seeing if it runs, and we can set this one to true. So run is equal to true, and actually there needs to be a capital letter. Run is equal to true, and we can then write while run, and when we write this, while this one is true, we are actually going to run over and over and over again. So this is a little complicated, but if it's true, then it runs over and over again. So this is basically the same as writing is equal to true. So if it's equal to true, then we're keeping on running. But you can actually just write while run, and we'll set that you can basically make an input. So we can make end is equal to input write end if you want to end the loop. So if you want to end the loop, we just write end, and then we can check if we want to end the loop, and then we can just make one of these, and then we can check if end is equal to end, then we'll make run to false. So this is a pretty simple program. So yeah, I explained here before that this one needs to be true to run, and then the first thing it does is it gives us an input. So yeah, we just write in end if you want to end the loop, and if we then write in end, so if end is equal to end, then run is going to be equal to false, and then it's not going to run anymore. But if we doesn't write end, then it's just going to keep running. So we'll check if this works. But end, if we want to end the loop, just write in something random. It keeps going. It keeps going. It never stops. can just do this however many times we want. But if we were to write end like that, it finishes. So that's basically how a while loop works, and you can make a ton of different things with while loops. You can, for example, make a variable called we can actually name it count is equal to 0, and we'll make while count is under or equal to 10, or we can actually make it while it's under 10, count plus equal 1, and also inputs. Okay, so what does this do then? So what this does is each time this loop's running, we are adding 1 to count, and when it gets up to 10, it stops running. So while it's under 10, it keeps running, but when it gets to 10, it stops running. And we also actually can also print count str count, and yeah, this input is just that we are going to click enter between each, but we don't actually need it. So what it's going to do now is count is going to set to 0, and each time it loops, count is going to be added 1, and when it gets to 10, it stops running, and it also prints count for each loop. So we'll see what happens right here. Why doesn't anything happen? That's odd. Oh, I did the wrong one here. Sorry. Okay, now it goes all the way to 10, and when it gets to 10, it stops running. So that's perfect. It was what we wanted. So yeah, you can do a lot with these while loops. What you can also use is a for loop. So a for loop. So you can just see if I remember. Yeah, you write for I in range, and then you write in the range you want to do this in. And so we start by writing 0, and then actually it's going to run until the number below this number we're adding here. So if you write 7, it only runs up to 6. So I'm going to show you. We can actually put in 1 here. So now it's going to count from 1 to 5, not 1 to 6. And I can show this by just print I. And this might seem a bit complicated, but basically I is just a variable that we're creating that has this when each time it loops, it gets the worth of the loop we're on. It's hard to explain, but yeah. And in range, this is basically just it's basically how the for loop works. It's syntax, as it's called. So yeah. And now, as we as we explained before, it counts from 1 to 5. Okay, good. So now we know how loops work. Okay, how do we make a rock, paper, scissors game? Well, we'll start off by thinking of how does it work. So, well, the computer is going to get out either a stone, scissors, rock, scissors, or paper, and we are also going to get out either rock, scissors, or paper, but the computer is going to be completely random, and we want to choose. And then we're going to compare the two, and then we're going to see who won. And we're also going to do this best of 3. So yeah, the first one that gets to 3 wins. Okay, so we'll start by making well, we can actually start by making we can make the loop later. So we'll just start by getting out a choice from the computer. So we'll name this variable computer choice. And the computer choice is going to be a random dot choice. And we don't actually have the list for this yet, so I'm going to create that. So we'll call this one yeah, I'm just going to name it list for this time. And yeah, this one is going to contain rock, paper, and scissors. I hope I spelled everything right. Rock, paper, and scissors. And we're going to take out random.choice from the list. And yeah, now it takes out a random.choice. Though we can see that this one turns red, and that is because we haven't actually imported random. Import random. So right now the computer actually chooses between rock, paper, and scissors. And we can see this by print computer choice. And if we just run this now, you can see that it says scissors, rock, paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors, scissors, paper, scissors, rock. Yeah, it's completely random. So we basically, the computer has basically chose its rock, paper, or scissors, and now we are going to choose. So when we are choosing, we are basically making an input. So we can make, what are we going to call this one? We can call this one player choice. Then that's pretty good. Player choice, and the player choice is going to be equal to input choose rock, paper, or scissors. Choose rock, paper, or scissors. And I like to make these. And now the player can choose if they want rock, paper, or scissors. So choose rock, paper, scissors, and we can write in rock, and we can see that nothing happens here. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And what we're going to do now is that we're going to compare the two. So for this we need a ton of if statements. So we're starting off with if player choice is equal to rock, and we can actually write in an and here, and computer choice is equal to yeah, we also need to be, this one needs to be a string, and computer choice is equal to paper, then the computer is going to win. But we're actually going to do like all of the different things that the computer can do in one if statement. So for that we'll add parentheses right here, and then we'll write an OR. So paper takes out rock, but then scissor takes out paper. So if we have that, we can actually copy this then. So we're just copying this and pasting it, and we'll make this one to paper instead, and this one to scissors. If you don't know how to copy, just do Control C and then Control V. So Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Or we'll actually add one more, and that is going to be if the player chooses scissors. So we can just paste this in again. If the player chooses scissors and the computer chooses rock, then we'll do like this. And this might seem pretty complicated, and yeah, it is a little bit complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. It's just, we're just checking the if player choice is equal to rock and the computer choice is equal to paper. So if both of those are like correct, then this will be done, or this, and all of these, the computer choice is the winning part. So yeah, and what happens? Well, we're just going to print out that the computer won, like that. And what happens if the player wins then? Yeah, we're going to add that now. So the computer won, and we can actually just copy all of this, Control C and then Control V, and we'll copy all of this, and we'll change some things here. Firstly, we'll change this one to player, the player one, or we can actually even change this one to U1, and we'll change all of these second ones. So we'll change this one to scissors, because rock beats scissors. We'll change this one to rock, because paper beats rock. And then this one to paper, because scissors beats paper. And yeah, now we can see if the player is winning. Though we still doesn't have a way to see if it is a draw. So that's what we're going to do now. So we'll copy this one again and paste it. Actually, not right there. I'll just delete this and paste it on a row in here. And we're going to change this again. So we're going to change this one to rock. So rock and rock, and then it's a tie. And paper here too. And then scissors and scissors in this lot too. So now we check for both. If they both have chosen rock, they both have chosen paper, or if they both have chosen scissors, and then it's going to be a draw. So we'll just see. We'll just write it was a draw. Okay, so if we now run this program and test it, we see there that it wants us to choose rock, paper or scissors, and we'll then choose rock maybe. And then we just get the message that the computer won. So then we actually know that the computer chose paper, but we might want to write out that the computer actually chose paper. So we're actually going to write another message in here. So we're going to print the computer chose, and then we're going to add, I don't know if it's spelled like that, I think it is, but I'm not sure. Okay, so the computer chose, and then computer choice. And then we write out what the computer actually chose, because the computer choice is the random rock, paper or scissors that it chose. And we'll also add the computer chose, and we'll also add one of these. So that just adds one of these in the end. And we'll actually just copy this one, and we'll insert this one on all of these places. So paste this one in here, and we'll also paste this one in here. So we'll just run this program again. Choose rock, paper or scissors. You can choose rock, and then the computer also chose rock, and it was a draw. Okay, good. So we now have we can now play this one over and over again, but we actually want to play best of 3, so until someone gets a 3. So what we'll do then is that we'll do a while loop, and before we do this while loop, we can actually do the while loop first, and I'm just gonna set this one to while true for the time. I'm going to change that later, but yeah. And then we'll just mark everything this and click on tab, and that'll do so that everything goes in one row. We'll just change this one to capital letter. I always write in a small letter, but yeah. And yeah, this should work. And now it should just run over and over again. So if we choose rock, it said it was a draw, and if we choose paper, the computer won, and if I choose paper again, it was a draw. So yeah, it just runs over and over and over again, but it doesn't stop, and we want this one to stop when someone has 3. So we'll actually add a score system, so that when we win, we're going to add to the score system, and we're going to check while the scores are under 3, then it's going to keep running. So to make it clear, we're going to name this one computer score, and we'll set this one to 0, because obviously the computer starts with a score of 0. And the same thing for us. We're going to do player score is going to be set to also 0. And actually when the computer wins here, we're going to add 1 to the computer score. So computer score plus equal 1, and then if the player wins, we're going to add to the player score plus equal 1. And yeah, now it's basically adding up the score for each time one of us wins. And now we're going to check while computer score or player score is less than 3, then we'll just keep running this. And we actually need to make parentheses here, so because otherwise it doesn't work. And yeah, this should be it. So, or we actually want to add one more thing, but yeah. So if we choose rock, paper, scissors. Maybe we choose rock. Then it was a draw. Choose scissors. The computer, it was a draw. Choose scissors again, maybe. Another draw. Scissors. Another draw. Okay. Rock again, maybe. Another draw. What is this? What? It shouldn't be draw every time. Why is it just draws? Okay, there must be something wrong here. No, actually. How did I get so many draws? That's insane. Okay. Well, now the computer actually chose rock, so now we won. And we can keep choosing paper. And now the computer shows scissors. We can also choose scissors then. And the computer shows rock, so the computer won. Then we can choose rock maybe. Now I won, and we can choose paper. Now I won, and we can then choose paper again. And then the computer won, and the process finished. So I guess, yeah, exactly. I won 2 times, and the computer won 3 times. No, I actually won. Actually won 3 times. So what we'll do then is that we'll actually display a message to the one who wins. So then we'll just do this below the while loop, because it will keep run below this when the while loop is done. And we'll just print or actually, because we need to know what the winner is. So we're actually going to do if player score is equal to 3, then we're going to display, then we're going to print you won the game. And I am actually also going to do, oh, never mind, just you won the game. And yeah, and I might also actually print a blank row like that. And yeah, you can actually use backslash, and I don't remember how to do backslash, so yeah. And then else, and then player right, else we'll just add one of these, and then we're going to print one of these again, and then we're going to print you lost the of the game. And yeah, this should now work exactly as we want. We can choose rock, we can choose scissors, we can choose paper, oh, we actually wrote it on there. Yeah, so paper. Okay, I won this time. Paper. The computer won. Paper again. Was a draw. Scissors. It was a draw. Scissors. I won. Rock. Computer won. Rock. You won. But now I actually won 3 times. Okay, so I don't know why this happens, but yeah, I might actually post in the comments if I work out what actually happens. But yeah, but I have one right now, so yeah, it's pretty odd. I don't know why it happens. But yeah, I'll work it out, and I might post it in the comments or in the description. And yeah, until next time, yeah, thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like if you liked the video. And yeah, I'll see you next time.